Hi everybody, this is a Titania Voice of Gaea deck that wants to get Titania out on the battlefield with enough lands in our graveyard to meld her into Titania Gaea Incarnate. Now to do that we need both Titania herself, as seen here, and we also need Argoth's Sanctum of Nature out on the battlefield. It's not a legendary land, so you can just go ahead and throw as many of these on the battlefield as you want. Now, this is kind of a self-mill strategy, so what that means is we're going to spend the early couple of turns filling up our graveyard, trying to get to the requisite amount of 4 lands. But we can also get a couple of other interesting interactions out of that. So we've got some things to get some stuff back out of the graveyard for one. So once we get it in there with Teachings of the Kirin and Wasteful Harvest is kind of another one. We'll talk about that one in a second. We've got a few ways to get it back. So Urborg Repossession is one of them. It can either be like a simple Raise Dead where we return something to our hand and then get a bonus permanent on top of that. We've also got Shigeki Jukai Visionary, who's been a staple in grindy decks in Standard for a while now. Shigeki works really well in here because we really do want to dump the remainder of those cards that we see from its first ability into the graveyard to help feed Titania and to feed some of our other cards. We've got 4 Go for the Throat in here as well. This could probably be a mix of some different removal, maybe replace a couple of these with some Infernal Grasps. I've been noticing the artifact creatures have started to tick back up recently in popularity, so this doesn't always have as many targets as you would like. Teachings of the Kirin helps to fill up our graveyard, and we get some bonus abilities on top of that. And then in the 3-drops, Old Rutstein is just a really solid 3-drop card for this deck. Nets us a lot of treasures due to the amount of lands that we're playing, but also just gives us some extra permanence, just some extra stuff to do. And so one of the things that we do with that, I've added a Braids Arisen Nightmare in here. We might be able to go up to 2 of these because they're just kind of another solid effect to keep drawing cards in the late game if we happen to run out of gas. We're also running 4 Wasteful Harvest. Now, I just want to take a moment to talk about this card because it's kind of unlike any effect I've ever seen in green before. I'm trying hard to think of something that it's really similar to, and so far, like, the best effect I can compare it to is something in blue. This is the most like Impulse to me of kind of any of the cards we've got in here. So we mill 5 cards and we put a permanent card milled this way into our hand. So that can be something that was already down there or something that we just milled over. So worst case scenario, empty graveyard, you're looking at 5 cards and you're taking 1 permanent out of that. Looking at this deck, it's loaded with permanents. There's what? 6 to 10 non-permanents in here that could possibly get in the way. So you're going to hit every time. Looking also at this card, Titania has a huge bullseye on her. If you play her directly on turn 3 and you haven't been doing too much else besides maybe Shigeki on turn 2, they're going to use their removal on it. Everybody is scared of it. It's just like when somebody plays Urza on turn 3. If you've got removal in hand, it's going at Titania, so just be ready for that. So that's why I'll often lead with Shigeki or Old Rutstein here to just kind of get that out of the way and really see like if they're pretty trigger happy with the removal or not. Maybe we can get that out of the way and still help prepare the graveyard for when we finally get Titania down. The ability that Titania has is that we gain 2 life whenever one of our lands goes to the graveyard from somewhere. So it's not too great to just have on the battlefield. It's not like it just sits there and generates a lot of value. We can really wait until we're ready, play Titania, and plan on flipping her the next turn. We don't get too much of a bonus by playing her too early. Looking at some of the other cards in here, I want to point out we've got Cruelty of Gix to help take advantage of filling our own graveyard. We can use this a lot of the time to get Titania back, but playing it for all 3 modes is also pretty useful as we can make opponents discard stuff that they've been holding on to, perhaps something like the Wandering Emperor or something else annoying that we might not be able to deal with, because some of our only removal in this deck, as I pointed out, is the 4 Go for the Throat, as well as 3 Titan of Industry. Now, the Titan can hit artifacts and enchantments, but it's a big boy, and we either need to reanimate it or hardcast it. And so if they can deal with the first Titan, it's a little bit of a show to try to bring it back again. You got to spend a little time, a little resources, a little trickery in doing that with Shigeki, with another Cruelty, or with Urborg Repossession down here at the bottom. Now, we can't have a deck like this without running 4 Argoth Sanctum of Nature. This can enable the whole combo on its own if we want it to, or just give us a nice little bear, and honestly, who doesn't need a ton of bear tokens in their life? Other than that, this was pretty interesting, pretty straightforward. I got this list from a small Japanese tournament, and it really caught my eye. I've been wanting to try something with Titania for a little while now that wasn't just straight green, and this seemed to fit the bill. Games with this deck kind of go one of two ways. You either get the combo going pretty early and somebody can't deal with Titania and she flips and we just kind of off to the races from there. Opponent usually scoops pretty soon after that. Or you're kind of in for a longer game where your opponent's dealt with your early Titania and you're trying to fight back with Cruelty of Gix and Titan of Industry and take over the late game by reusing some of those effects and then bringing back a later Titania perhaps for the win. So you got two different kinds of interesting games here. Just depends on what you're in the mood for. So let's get over and see a couple of these games on the ranked standard ladder. I'm going to stick with you for some commentary, but as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. All right, always helps when you remember to hit the record button. We're jumping right in here with our Titania list. We've got Titan of Industry. Old Rutstein's going to be great at starting us off here next turn. Tenacious Underdog from the opponent. Going to try to put the helmet on it, but we will beat them to that. Remember, everybody was talking about that card like it was going to be the next Skull Clamp, but we'll see how that shakes out. All right, we've got our third land. Let's get Rutstein down. Doesn't make sense to get Titania down just yet. We might as well kind of pave the way for her and get some lands into the graveyard before she comes down. Flesh Gorger from our opponent. Fortunately, can't go for the throat on that. So let's get Teachings down, fill up the graveyard a bit more. Of course, it's no lands. So we're going to have to probably end up going over the top of our opponent here somehow. Shigeki's going to help us fill our graveyard if it survives long enough to use its ability. Because, yeah, as you can see, we've only got one land down there. All right, opponent will equip up the Flesh Gorger with the Helm. We take a nice chunk of 5 damage. Rutstein flips a land. Pretty useful here. We'll put the counter on Rutstein. That'll prevent the cut down. Land from us. Let's see. We've got 7 altogether. We could hit the Helm or the Flesh Gorger itself. Let's Titan. Definitely get rid of an artifact. Sorry, just had to think about which mode we want there. So yes, we'll pay the life. Let's get rid of the creature itself. I'm not terribly worried about the Helm going on something in the future, though that could come back to bite me. Alright, and our Titan gets grasped. Not a huge problem for us. We do play... we do play some reanimation in here, so we can get that back later. Alright, our Kirin flips over. Well, now's a good time as any to get Titania down. I think it makes sense to attack. What do you got for me, opponent? Of course. Gonna exile our Titania. Well, let's get Shigeki going here. Pick you up, mill a few things. Unfortunately, a few cards that... 3 of those? All cards that get permanents back from a graveyard. Alright, opponent trying again with the Flesh Gorger and the Helm. Decides not to attack. Yeah, I would happily block that all day long if they decided to do so, but got plenty of mana for Shigeki here, so let's get some things. Oh, all right. Good game. Here for another one with our Golgari Titania list. Got a little bit of early interaction. Nice go for the throat here that we can use on this evolved sleeper. Opponent playing Mishra's Foundry as well. Well, while they've spent the mana, let's effectively time walk them this turn and make them waste their mana a little bit. Let's see. If we want to play Rutstein, we got to do it this way. Yep. Because, yeah, Argoth comes into play tapped unless there is a legendary creature in play. Okay, Graveyard Trespasser. Gonna eat our one land out of the graveyard. Rutstein just puts it right back. It's a good fellow, that Rutstein. Let's see, Titania. We could just do that. I mean, at the end of the day, Titania's also just got a solid body at 3/4, so if we need to threaten to block a Trespasser, we can certainly do that. Gain a little bit of life. Rutstein can hang back for now, and we'll try to flip Titania as soon as our upkeep hits. Alright. Wouldn't be a black deck without including Sheoldred. Alright, Titania flips and brings with her all of our lands from the graveyard. Now, it looks like we need 4 to activate her and make a land a 4/4. Sheoldred will trigger here. It's a little bit of damage. And we'll put a counter on Rutstein, if only to give it protection from cut down. Not sure if I want to make a land just yet, and I don't really want to run Titania into a Death Toucher. Alright, well, unfortunately, Go for the Throat comes in. I suppose I probably could have made a land into a creature there, but I think we've got Shigeki. We might be able to bring back a couple of things. Sorry, just got to think about this for a second. This also works, and if we got more mana in the future, Shigeki will be even more useful. Alright, we've got Cruelty. That's going to have to do. Alright, Rutstein dumps a land. Take 2 more from Sheoldred and flip our Kirin over. Alright, let's get Cruelty going. Just taking a peek at what you got going on over there. Double Liliana. Okay, well, she's not too worrisome right now. And it's not like our deck plays a ton of like straight card draw either, so not worried about Sheoldred for the moment, although that will get annoying.
Something suspicious is going on, and for once it's not my fault.
Alright, opponent opting to use Cut Down on the Kirin. Luckily, Rutstein has been protected with our little counter trick there. And we'll just discard this Proving Ground to Liliana's ability. Alright. Opponent going for some attacks. Let's see what they pull out of our graveyard. A land. Looks like they are worried about Titania coming back. Odd that they're not worried about any of our other creatures. I tell you, these meld cards really are scary for some people. They do not want them to flip. Alright, we could get this Repossession. Just taking a look for Shigeki's sake. There is a Titania down there. Alright, so let's channel Shigeki. We can do it for 2. We'll get Repossession for sure. Oh, it's non-legendary. Alright. Well, luckily Argoth is not legendary. So we'll grab that and plan to repossess Titania to get her back. Although we could just draw naturally into one, too. All right, so let's go tutoring. I think Titan of Industry is the order of the day. Looking at our mana, not sure. We might be able to do both. 1, 2. I mean, yeah, I think we can do that. Titan going to give us some life, which will be real nice. And 3 left for Titania. Couldn't have drawn it up much better. Let's get in for 2 at Lily. Alright, opponent just playing some lands here. Let's see if they want to make us discard. Oh. Just a sacrifice. I guess our rhino friend? Oh, though I could have sacrificed the Titan and reanimated it with Cruelty here. That was another potential line, but well, at least we have our Titan in play to attack with now if we really want to. We could try to draw with the sleeper, but honestly, this... Yeah, just checking. Our graveyard doesn't have anything that grand in it, so having this like +1/+1 effect could really be threatening. Alright, just Field of Ruining them now to get rid of a blocker. Sorry, just seeing if it makes sense to make a land into a creature. Well, I think we're going to get in with these two. We're low enough, we need them to throw Shieldred in front of something. And they decide not to. Okay, well, they do know that we have the repossession, and we're going to get something back. I can understand not wanting to put Shieldred in front of the Titan. Okay. Go for the throat on Titania. On our way out the door, though, definitely make a land into a creature. I think that's it for now. Okay. Well, unfortunately, that is a 2-for-1 for our opponent, but we do have kind of a wide board now. All right, we'll take 2 and go to 6. Opponent at 12. I mean, let's swing for it. Titan's got trample. Everything else is kind of a wash. And we're going to be able to pump up this person right over here. All right. Good game. All right, jumping into another one here with our Titania Meld deck. We're using Golgari and doing a lot of self-mill here. So nicely, we've got Old Rutstein showing up in our opening hand. Could use some removal. Crystal Grotto, what is this? All right, swamp from us and not much else. We have the combo in hand. We just need enough lands in the graveyard to do it. So Titania needs 4 to be able to flip over and meld with Argoth. Was that an otherworldly gaze? All right, anyway. Deathcap Glade from us. Let's get Rutstein going. Let's probably eat a counter, but we've got a second one for next turn. No reason to throw Titania... Okay, Essence Scatter. No reason to throw Titania into some obvious counterspells. She just requires some setup, and then we can layer once all the groundwork is done. She swoops in at the end when you've kind of prepared the space for her. All right, well, we've got a second one of those, too, so we could just try to get it out. Let's see. Let's go for Rutstein again. Playing a land first doesn't really help. All right. Rutstein gets down. So no make disappear or anything. That was nice. Let's get Argoth down while we're able to. Yeah, really curious about this. What is... I mean, sometimes you see otherworldly gaze in, mono blue kind of Delver style decks, but it's also in some combo decks. I think I played one version... Well, I tried it in one version of a Splendid Reclamation deck. Let's get in. Why not? Not much they can flash in blue these days. And let's Cruelty and maybe see what's going on over there. What do you got for me? Cemetery Illuminator. All right. Looks like some Witness Protection. Negate. Witness Protection, though. What? All right. Thirst. Yeah, so there's some like standard kind of Delverish cards, but like Otherworldly Gaze, not that good. Let's figure out what we're doing here. Okay, Rutstein gets us a treasure. Cruelty is going to give us a tutor effect. Let's get Braids over the Titan. Not a lot of good targets, and we can do two things in one turn if we try to Titania and Braids at the same time. Might be a little too overwhelming for somebody playing counterspells, like our opponent here. Let's try Braids first. Okay, Braids eats a Scorn. Well, let's try the backup plan. Another Essence Scatter. What do you got? All right, opponent was thinking about it, but Titania gets through, so they may try to slap Witness Protection on this. Oh my goodness. I'm just going to throw this out there in case anyone's wondering. Just don't play Otherworldly Gaze in like a normal deck. If you're doing combo or something with it where you need stuff in the graveyard, fine, but it doesn't replace itself at the bare minimum. There's a joke in there somewhere. Hold on. We're going to try to sneak this Titan in. All right, we draw Plaza. All right, Rutstein goes off. All right. Rather than get that Illuminator, we've certainly got a Titan of our own that we're going to put into play. Unless we want Braids. And Braids will draw some cards, so let's go that direction. I don't know. I feel like being grindy at the moment. I mean, they did put Witness Protection on Titania. Titania is now a legitimate business person. We're going to have to address that. All right, Plaza from us. We've got a backup Titania. We can grab a permanent out of the graveyard, but for now, I think we're just going to sack one of these treasures. And another Cruelty. Excellent. Okay. Well, now we really can grab that Titan. If we want to. Oh, just stop. So many copies of Otherworldly Gaze. Wow, 3 Urtai's Scorn? Wow. Wait, is that a terror? Very strange. What is this? Where's the Djinn? Where's the Delver? That is some rotten luck if this is the first creature that we've seen all game. All right, let's mill and get something back. Titan, please. All right, we will flip a land, get a treasure. Titan of Industry. Any response? All right. Must have drawn into another counter. All right. Skipping straight ahead to Braids here. We get another Shigeki. Okay. Thirst for Discovery. Excellent. What did we discard? Looked like a slip out the back. Rutstein, what do you got for us? All right, Titania goes to the graveyard. We get a second Rutstein in the hand. That's Cruelty and bring back... Oh, does it make it through? It does. Let's skip straight ahead and bring back... No, not the Cemetery Illuminator. Titan. We're just going to keep rolling through this. And we will definitely get rid of the enchantment on Titania. Let's see. Do we just make a Rhino or Shield? I think Shield. All right, so Titania will turn back into her normal self. Shield counter can go on the big guy. We probably should have made a Rhino there. Oh, Geist Wave. Well, that's not so bad. We can just play it again. All right, Braids, sacrifice this extraneous treasure. Nice. Well, we are all set up for a grindy long game against our opponent's few remaining cards. There's the Djinn, finally. Man, that must have just been a stretch of bad luck there. Normally, Djinn comes down by like turn 5 with a little counter protection, but it was just not in the cards. All right, opponent passes. This is a gigantic Djinn. We're going to flip Titania and meld with Argoth. Gets us a few lands there. We draw another Titania. All right, well, I think we need to pull up some way to get rid of this Djinn for sure. Especially while they've got nothing in hand, like we can see what they've got. So go for the Throat. Let's see, do we have enough left over to cast it? I think we do. All right, we get that back. Cast that on the Djinn. Otherworldly Gaze. See, this is why you should not play the Gaze. You could dig for a counter here. All right. Well, good game. All right, here for another one. We've got Golgari. Trying to meld some Titania with our Argoth here that we've got in our opening hand. We'll lead off with our dual land. Lead off with a Shigeki here for turn 2. Trying to figure out what our opponent's up to over there. Ooh. Automated Artificer. So this could be some kind of... all right, Titania. Titan right into our graveyard thanks to Rutstein, so that's not too bad. But opponent definitely signaling that they're going to want to play a lot of artifacts here. Oh, and that makes a Power Stone. See, yep, very good. So they probably got some Skitter Beams and some large green prototypers. We're going to want to start digging for our Titania combo here too. But that also means Titan of Industry is going to be pretty decent. Should have plenty of targets. Let's use this. So Wasteful Harvest mills a few things. Already got Rutstein. I think Braids is the way to go here. And we've got Go for the Throat up, but It's really only got one target right now. Alright, we pick up a land. Let's get Braids going. Gotta eke out some kind of incremental advantage. Can't really make any attacks yet. We'll sack our treasure, see if they want to sack an artifact. No, we pick up Repossession. Okay. Doing 3 damage to Braids there. Well, nothing we can do to save you. I guess thanks for the free card. 3 mana, 1 card. Alright, I'm going to use the Hot Springs on the 3/2. Luckily it doesn't give it trample, just gives it haste. So I think it's worth blocking here. All these Power Stones makes me very nervous about what kind of gigantic artifact creature they're going to play. And give haste. Oh, wow, okay. Not the best Wasteful Harvest. Let's get this Teachings. There's Titania, right into the graveyard. I think we will get a couple of things here. Let's get Titania, and our second permanent will be the Titan. And it's going to take a little doing. No attacks from us. It's going to take a little dancing around. Probably going to have to use Shigeki to bring a couple of things back. Try to loop this Titan over and over to hopefully survive against whatever they're cooking up over there. Alright, Cityscape Leveler. That's going to get rid of Titania. We get a Power Stone, which isn't that great. Well, we could use it for Shigeki, actually. Since that doesn't really count as a spell, more of an ability. Alright, we'll just chump the small one. Doesn't make sense to chump the Leveler with the Trample. Well, I think it's definitely the Titan's time here. Let's destroy the Leveler and probably make another blocker in case they've got more removal for us. Okay, unearths the Leveler. Can put a counter on it, but it doesn't need it. Alright, comes in with both things. Destroys the Titan again. Well, we'll just block the 4/3 here with our Rhino. Leveler's going to take care of itself. So we just need to get ourselves up a little bit and out of range. If we can. Let's skip straight ahead and bring this Titan back. Oh. Had me worried there for a second. I was like, why is this terrible creature in my graveyard? Let's destroy and get some life. That will at least keep our opponent from hasting something else out at us. And then I think we can keep these Power Stones up for Shigeki, possibly? Yeah, just counting it all up, we can. We've got enough to bring back 2 cards if we use these Power Stones. The Might Stone and Weak Stone from our opponent. Unlikely they're playing Urza, probably just in there for the mana and the draw. Another Hot Springs, kind of worrisome. Alright, they're going to decide to beef up the Artificer, so let's channel Shigeki here. And do it for 2 thanks to all our Power Stones. Definitely Cruelty, I think, is a good one. What else we got down here? Might just be this Repossession. Yeah, it seems good. Repossession can get back 2 things. So let's get Titania and Braids. And then get out Titania for sure. Let's see. Let's get the Proving Grounds out. I know it's probably not going to have a target, but I just feel like we should leave out, or leave up rather, this Go for the Throat. Alright, full price Flesh Gorger. And the Hot Springs means it's going to get haste. Oh, second Hot Springs. So I suppose I could probably put 2 counters on the same thing. Alright. Alright, just 1 counter on each creature. So we've got an 8/6 with Menace. And a 3/5. That's 11 altogether, so we got to block something. Let's throw both of these at the Phyrexian. I'm okay with giving up Titania when we've got all this recursion in hand. Alright, they opt to get rid of the Titan of Industry, so Titania will flip. Brings back a load of lands. We'll keep one of these Takenuma here. Another Argoth. Well, we could Cruelty back the Titan, but we might just need to make some lands here. I don't know if we've got enough. Let me take a look at this here. Like, I know I want at least 1. The question is, do we have enough to finish them off? That would be 24, and I can't bring any other lands into play. So let's just do this. A solid 20. Opponent at 6. Let's go looking for the Titan. Oh, well, do we want the Phyrexian? No, I don't think so. Yeah, this is much better. And if they draw a leveler, we don't want to get hit with a giant hasty creature. Like, the leveler would be more life over the long term, but I want to make sure we at least survive this next turn. Excellent. All right. Good game.